All right. Well, thanks for joining us this evening. Introducing the world's first Anion DNA drop. Many of you already know about this amazing product. Tonight, as I mentioned, our special guest, Mary Esther Gilbert. Now, she sent me her bio. This is it. It's really long, so I'm not going to go read all the way through it, but I will point out a couple of things. She has a Bachelor and Master's of Science in Holistic Nutrition, Bachelor of Science in Nutritional Science, and you can see she's an author. She's done a lot with her life, which to me is really, really interesting. And I always love interviewing people who are holistic practitioners who have a science background, how their zest for life is so abundant and so full. So that being said, before I push on, I do want to make one or two quick comments. Our Anion DNA drops are not meant to cure, treat, or cure diseases. You should always visit your doctor and get their advice. What we're going to share with you is some information about this amazing product. The slide that I'm going to throw up here really quickly. Our products are the real deal. You'll see that we have an ISO 22000 cert as well as an ISO 9001. So if you're new to checking out this product line, we do have the certificates in place so that you know that's manufactured with safe practices, very efficient. There's label integrity, and we really care about the product quality. So everything that we do at APLGo, we want to make sure that we're delivering a great product for you. Also, we do manufacture our own products. We have a 48,000 square foot lab. And I wanted to mention this because this is really important to know that from the time the botanicals are picked in the field, they're taken to the lab. This is a process that APLGo completely oversees. So you're getting a product that's not being changed by a third party or subject to other parties handling the products and down the supply line, doing just having access to them. We maintain access for their integrity, and it's just a really great product. So that being said, Mary Esther, thanks for having us this evening. Can you say something or make sure we can hear you?
Yes, thank you for having me here, Kauri. I'm always happy to do this. This is an amazing product line, and I'm prepared to answer any questions, and I'd like to give as much information as I can in the limited time that we have. These products, it took me 17 months to research every single botanical ingredient in our formulations. I was already familiar with a lot of these botanicals in the 40 years that I've been a consultant and writer and researcher, of course. But yeah, I'm really happy to share what I've accumulated so far with all of you.
Well, thanks so much. And we're excited to hear from you. So first of all, I think most people on this Zoom call might be familiar with the fact that you're the author of the APL Product Reference Nutritional Health Guide. There's 531 pages there. Now, when I went through it, I was just amazed, not just at all the volume of information that you put in there, but your references. There's a lot of references. Do you mind me asking how long it took you to put this together?
It took me 17 months, mostly on, not very many hours away from it other than sleeping and exercising and taking care of myself. But I really wanted to, I'm very meticulous by nature anyway, and I was driving myself absolutely nuts by wanting to make sure that, hey, the world is going to see this work, and I want it to be completely thorough and completely right. So that's why it took me such a long time. But I was very meticulous in putting it all together. And you know what? It has really paid off because so many people are using it as their reference source to become more knowledgeable about the product. So they're able to go out and teach others and lead others, which is one of the main reasons I put it together.
Well, you've done an absolute amazing job. I picked up my copy about 3 weeks ago. I've gone through it a few times, lots of information. So let's just dive right into it. I want to give our listeners kind of a base of what this product is from a very, basic scientific level. Would you mind just kind of explaining the nuts and bolts of the platform of the product and how it works?
Oh, I'd be happy to. This is one of the greatest products that I've ever come across. I've been evaluating products. I've been watching the nutritional supplement industry grow over the 40 years. They've really matured and they're really putting out some quality supplements. But when a very close colleague of mine, she knows me very well, she knew better than to try to introduce to me a product. I had rejected 99% of the other products that were out there because one little ingredient that isn't absorbable is what determines it for me. So when she showed me the products. We flew to New York. We met Sergey and Vladimir and some of his executives, and we spent the whole day with them. Of course, we had the interpreter there. But when I learned the technology that made all the difference and the microcellular absorption usability of these products, that's what made me stop and say, okay, well, yeah, I've got a whole repertoire of all these different types of whole health products. Some of them are very great supplements that I've accumulated over the years. So when someone comes to me with some ailments, then I've been able to choose from a full array of all these different products. But once in a great while, something will come along that will fill a void that I didn't even know I had. And so when the drops came along, I was excited. And it takes a lot to get me excited because of all the research I've done, right? And all the evaluations that I've done on all these products all these years. So the absorbability factor is the main thing that I am advocating in these formulations.
That's awesome. So I've heard over the years saying you are what you absorb, not necessarily what you eat, but what you absorb. So to hear you say that really rings true. You talked about the idea or the fact that you've come across so many products over the years. People are always asking you because of your background to take a look at products. What really stuck out with this product? I know you talked about absorbability. It's obviously a new product, but what are the other things that kind of got you saying, this is really different? I mean, this is something I've never seen before.
Yeah, absolutely. It was the technology behind it. It took, as many of you already probably know, it took 30 years for some scientists from a couple of countries all over the world to come together and work on the formulations. And it was the technology that really made me take notice because, as you might know, these plant materials are subjected to, at the subquantum level, at their atomic energy level, they're subjected to a simulated a lightning storm environment. And if you've ever been out after a lightning and thunderstorm, you know how fresh the air seems. It's ionically charged, and it's absolutely refreshing. It's good for the body. It helps the body eliminate a lot of what they call free radicals, molecules that are doing damage in the body. It could be from stress or pollutants or junk food or whatnot. It's a whole, different types of causes for that. So they actually infuse extra electrons at the atomic level so that these plant materials have even more antioxidant power. And that is unheard of. All the supplements that I've ever evaluated and examined and spoken to companies about, no one ever had this process. It's a highly, proprietary process, and it was 30 years in the making. So I decided to go ahead and test it out, and the rapidity with which these products work is the most impressive, very impressive. People wonder why in the heck they work so fast. Well, because it's DNA matching information with our DNA. The plant DNA will splice and our DNA will read out the DNA of these plants. And it will take that DNA genetic code information and match it up with whatever our DNA needs. Our DNA is extremely intelligent. It knows what it's doing. It needs the right information to read and interpret and utilize. And that's exactly what these drops do.
Wow, that's amazing. As you can see, I've got the slide up, so it's perfect with you commenting on what we have up there. One of the things I noticed when I looked at the ingredients and I looked at the amount of botanicals in each ingredient, it seemed really small to me. I took a look and I said, well, there's not a lot of it. There's this tiny little drop. It's got these botanicals. So how can it be so effective? I think you just covered it. They're given a negative charge. And I do want to add one thing before I kick it back to you. I asked Sergey once if this was a patented product, because I thought, well, it's got to be, you got to have a patent on it. And he told me no. And at first I thought it was. For a long time, I was telling people, I think it's patented, but it's not patented. And one of the things he mentioned is, he said, Kauri, through the interpreter, I don't want to patent my product. Now everybody can see the science, everybody copy. And so it is a very unique product that we have, speed to market. I love what you're saying about the ionization. I learned about, and I don't want to keep talking because our guests want to hear from you, but I just want to say the products have a special something in them. I think you just described it perfectly.
Yeah, that's okay. You can talk. But, this is what is so special about them is the fact that they work at the microcellular level inside of our multiple trillions of cells and even more multiple trillions of biochemical processes that go on every single moment of our lives just to keep us alive is pretty amazing. So what our bodies do with food, when we chew our food, we swallow our food, the food is broken down to their most minute components, the amino acids and the glucose, the simple sugars, the fatty acids and all those things. They have to fit, by the time food is broken down to that minute level, it has to fit through the cell membrane in order to enter the cell. And that's where health is determined. That's where our bodies will build new tissues, will improve the immune system, or do whatever it has to do to stay alive. All of the metabolic processes, the catabolism, the anabolism, breaking down and building back up, all that happens within those tiny trillions of cells. And the DNA and the mitochondria, the endoplasmic reticulum, all those little organelles that are inside our cells are at work all the time. So these drops are already broken down to that minute level. And that's why they work, because when it all comes down to it, we chew a lot of food, we swallow a lot of food, and most of it is eliminated, right? But those nutrients are what is so important, is what is so retained. So that's why these drops are so important. It's already done for us. We don't have to swallow them. We just let them dissolve. They are easily absorbable through the cell membranes in our mouth, the mucosal cell membranes. They go into the bloodstream, are distributed wherever the body determines it needs them the most. And that's what's great about our genetic code. It knows how to operate the system and how to fix it. It just needs the right information. And these drops are the exact right information. What I also teach in a lot of my courses and seminars is that the body knows how to recognize all of these nutrient factors that are intact. And that's one good thing about the drops. Those nutrient factors remain intact. So a lot of the other supplement companies, they don't pay attention to maintaining the viability, the activity that is so important in these nutrient factors.
So these are smart drops. They're smart. They're intelligent.
Yes, and they make our cells more intelligent too. And that's what's so great.
That's fantastic. I want to kind of switch the subject real quickly before we go into 5 specific DNA drops. I want to talk a little bit about positive ion poisoning and how it affects us. I was doing some reading on it a few months ago, and I was amazed that this never gets brought up. The fact that we're being bombarded with these positive ions, and the fact that when we're in nature, and I'm going to turn over to you in just a second, we just feel this sense of ease and relax and calmness. And I love your photo of you in the mountains, just with a smile on your face. And it's really symbolic of all of us getting out, getting to nature where these negative ions are heavy concentration. Can you talk a little bit about positive ion poisoning, negative ions? I know you mentioned it briefly, but I'd love to hear your take on it.
Yeah, they're called free radicals. These are molecules that are searching for electrons so that they can steal it from living tissues. And that's what causes the disease process. So going out in nature and touching our skin, especially our feet, on the bare ground, not necessarily on sidewalks, because a lot of that is made out of non-natural materials. So the earth, there's some very great science behind this. When I first heard of earthing, or grounding your barefoot with your feet directly on the earth, you absorb the electrons. Earth has an abundance of electrons, an innumerable amount to share. So any great antioxidant food, any great supplement like our drops will have plenty of these extra electrons to donate to these positively charged anions, I should say. And that way it'll neutralize them. So anything that doesn't belong in the body, if you've got a virus or a bacteria or fungus or any kind of microbial invasion, or if you have been exposed to toxic synthetic chemicals and they become embedded in our fatty tissues, including the brain has a lot of fatty tissues, or any of the organs like the liver, anywhere where there are fatty tissues. Even the nerve cell coatings are it's essential to eat the right types of fats in your diet so that your nerve cells will be healthy. Without that extra fatty acid coating on the nerve will degrade, and it won't fire correctly, won't communicate with all the other body systems, with other all the communication pathways in the body. So a lot of things can go wrong unless you have enough negatively charged particles in your diet. Raw foods are wonderful drops. I can't say that about every supplement out there. The only supplement that I know for sure that has an abundance of negatively charged particles are in these drops. So yeah, it's all about exchanging electrons. So yes, being out in nature, being in direct contact with the earth, you pick up a lot. If you've ever sat down on the grass and just with your bare feet on the grass and just sat there and did meditation, or just even just were pensive for a while, you know, how often do we really do that? But that's when you pick up a lot of negative electrons. And studies show that there has been, you can alleviate from a lot of different ailments from picking up all of those electrons all the way. I can imagine how our ancestors, with nothing but you know, leather feet, leather shoe coverings, were getting an abundance of negatively charged electrons all of their lives. It was probably one of the reasons they were so robust, and one of the reasons why humanity now is becoming more sickly all the time with each generation. So we've got to stop that process. I'm all about preserving the DNA. That's very, very important to do, and negatively charged ions.
That's such an interesting point. I was in Taiwan last year and had a holistic Taiwanese kind of holistic feng shui doctor kind of read me. And one thing he said to me, he said, every day, I want you to take off your shoes and stand on the grass for 35 minutes. And I've heard about being grounded, you know, in the sense of that, connecting with Mother Earth, but I never realized the scientific explanation and how that really does affect us. So that's really, really interesting. Another thing I want to point out, and maybe you could speak to this, there are a lot of botanicals picked and used in supplements everywhere, right? But a lot of them don't have any negative ions. And so when you look on the face of a product, and these are the ingredients, here's what they're known to do, but if they have no negative ions because they've been sitting in storage for 6 months or a year, you know, how good are they really? Then you look at our product, it's got these negative, this incredible technology where the negative ions are there, they're fully charged, so we can get the most out of these botanicals. That's just amazing to me.
Absolutely. I know after examining countless supplements, that's one of the first things that I was always asking, do you preserve the enzymes? Because enzymes are negatively charged, but they only last for so long and they don't survive in extreme temperatures. So even though supplement companies are now providing better indoor environments to store products, you wonder how much of that it makes it all the way to you by the time you buy it. So you don't know where these have been, and you don't know to what temperatures they've been subjected to once they leave the warehouse. They're in trucks, right? In the summer, they're in trucks, and you don't know how refrigerated or how cool these supplements are. So yeah, there's no way to tell really. So this is really important. It's really important to maintain the viability and those negatively charged particles.
That's super. So we're going to go ahead and push on. Tonight, we're going to preview 5 of our drops, and I've given these to Mary Esther just actually this afternoon. I'm sorry I gave it to you so late, but she's going to go over the 5 drops and kind of do a deep dive into them. One of my favorite is RLX. I take this to help me relax. In fact, I took one about an hour ago. It seems to be doing its job. But what can you tell us about this particular DNA drop?
Well, you know, we could do this the long way or the short way. There's whenever I've done APL webinars, usually I focus on one product because I like to give the scientific details behind it. And like you said at the beginning of the program, we are not here to diagnose or treat. We are not medical doctors. And boy, I have been so careful with that in the 40 years that I've been as a consultant and all these different ways that I've been, you know, out there. But so if you want me to, I can break it down to each individual ingredient and tell you a little bit about the ingredients, or I can just be general because 5 products is a lot to cover in one night, as detailed oriented as I am. But yeah, if you want me to just give a general explanation of what the RLX is all about, I can do that too.
Well, let's do this because we're hoping to have you as a weekly guest to help kind of go over some of these products. So why don't we, instead of going through 5, we can maybe go through 1 or 2 and deep dive through them. I just kind of want you to do your thing. And I think whatever you do, we're going to really appreciate. So you do, Mary Esther, and we're just going to listen.
Okay. All right. Will you please share your screen with me so I can show you what I have on my computer?
Yes, of course. Okay.
All right, I see that. Okay, so let me go ahead and open up my slideshow. Actually, I have several things up that I wanted to show you. Okay, let me start with this chart. You might recognize this chart, Kauri. It's in the book, and it lists all of the products, right, and all of the body systems that the nutrient factors, the botanical nutrient factors in our products address and help the body maintain itself. Okay, again, as representatives of the company, we all must be very careful as to what we say because we do not want to sound like we're practicing medicine without a license, right? So throughout the whole book, I don't make any claims about the drops themselves unless they have been evaluated by a third party, like say the Mayo Clinic, and there have been independent studies on these formulations. Then we can make assertions as to what the products can do. But all we can do right now is know what's in them and know what those botanicals do for the body and how they help the body maintain itself and return it back to what is called homeostasis. So it'll go from being in a malfunctioning kind of conditioning or condition, and then with the right nutrient factors, it'll return back to normal. So this is what is called a healing process, and there's a lot of different side terms that we can, be safe with in discussing this. But I just wanted to show you that the RLX, as you can see, for the most part, and again, these are these different botanicals address many body systems. So it's a little bit tricky to identify exactly what one formula will do because of all of the full array of phytonutrient factors, which are the plant chemicals that are so beneficial for our health, that are in all of these ingredients, right? So for the most part, though, the RLX will contain nutrient factors from these botanicals.
Mary Esther, do you mind if I jump in real quickly? I can't see your screen for whatever reason.
Oh my goodness, you don't see this chart?
No, I did share it with you, so let me.
Okay, I need to just click share screen, probably. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, yeah, I don't often use Zoom. That's the problem here.
Oh, no worries.
Okay, let me click on share. You should be able to see it now.
Not yet.
Not yet. Uh-oh. Okay, well, let's see.
Okay, it says there we go. Perfect.
Oh,
Yep.
You see that.
You're up.
So I'm going to maximize this and give you a better view.
Beautiful.
Of this. Okay. Oops. All right. Yeah. So the RLX, it will address a lot of the necessary nutrients that your nervous system need, and that includes the brain and the spinal cord and all of the superhighway of nerves that branch out from the spinal cord and that come through the tremendous concentration of nerves that are going toward the brain. Okay, so these nutrient factors in the RLX will go through and nourish those nerves so that they don't misfire, so that your body can handle stress much more calmly. Okay, so it's not even a sedative, it's just a matter of helping your nerves to stop misfiring in response to stress chemicals that your body makes. Okay, so it kind of neutralizes those free radicals and helps you be more calm and more cognizant and make better decisions under stress and things like that. And also other nutrients in the RLX address the integumentary system. So there are a lot of botanicals there that will help your skin cells be nourished and stay more youthful so that they are more pliant and you've got better looking skin. So it actually helps your skin become more youthful. Those cells start behaving more youthfully. Oops, I think I skipped over to the wrong column there. I was talking about the SLD, and that's not on our list for today. So let's go ahead and jump up to the endocrine area. So endocrine are all of the glands in the body, and I'm going to jump back to the major body system. So as you can see, the endocrine system here consists of many types of glands, not just the reproductive system. There's the thyroid and all these different types of glands that are part of the reproductive system, and also to manufacture hormones that assist in the digestive process. So all of the hormones your body makes, including the pituitary gland in the brain, they produce hormones that regulate and start and stop and communicate with the nervous system. So relax, the RLX will deal with the nervous system and the hormonal system. So you've got a great communication system going on there that works together in synergy to help you stay more relaxed and calm without being sleepy or without being, sedated. Okay, so I'm going to go over to, do you see my slideshow?
Yes.
Great. Okay. I'm going to give you the slideshow view. And I'm just going to jump over to the RLX. Okay, so the RLX contains the ashwagandha root and the banana, chamomile flower, the German type, and the Siberian ginseng root, and lettuce, passion flower leaf, and the pine nut. So in combination with all of those phytonutrient factors that are working in synergy together from these plants will assist these two body systems. And I can go even further. I can go even into more detail and tell you exactly what the ashwagandha and the banana and all these different botanicals do for the body. Would you like me to do that? I'm ready to do that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, great. Okay. I like details. So, like I said, when I used to do the weekly product calls with another group at APL, I just had to condense my book. As you know, the book has a tremendous amount of science behind it, and all of the what do you call it? I went blank. The monographs. Yes, the monographs from each product. Each product. Right. Okay. So I had to really condense it to shorten it in order to fit going over just one product in 1 hour's time. So that's why I was concerned about, doing 5 products tonight. I don't know. So I'm glad you're with me in as far as the detail. So, okay, let's do the relax, the RLX, and the ashwagandha root. Again, this is very, very condensed, as you know, that it's much shorter than the book. So the ashwagandha root is known, and these are all scientifically validated. I've got the scientific references galore in the book. So if you want science behind everything I'm saying tonight, it's in the book. It really is. So anyway, the ashwagandha root, for the most part, I just highlighted a few things. Decreases cellular sensitivity to stress. Again, it will nourish your nerve cells, nourish your hormonal system so that you don't respond in such a reactive way to stress in your life. A lot of people just can't get to sleep because they have so much stress and so much on their mind, or they've had too much coffee, one of the two. Also, the ashwagandha has anti-inflammatory and anti-arthritic properties, and it improves energy levels because it helps the cell mitochondria, which are the energy producing factories in the cell, both in plant cells and in human cells, animal cells. The mitochondria is the one that manufactures the energy molecules known as ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So the root also increases stamina. Again, it tones down those stress chemicals. It neutralizes those free radicals and donates electrons to calm them down and not bother you. So even if you're exercising very hard and that produces a lot of free radicals while you're exercising temporarily until you can eat and recuperate, right? And lactic acid, things like that. So ashwagandha root is used by athletes and people who want strength endurance as much as anyone who wants to stay calm. It also helps with, again, stomach ulcers. Ulcers are formed by a bacterium and they eat away at the stomach lining. So then the hydrochloric acid, it causes a lot of pain. Normally the lining of the stomach has a mucosal protective barrier against that, but that's why ulcers are formed. Anti-tumor, they've been tested on lung and ovary cancer cells and uterine fibroids, so any kind of abnormal growth, the phytonutrient factors in ashwagandha root will actually help destroy. And that's what's great about these botanicals. They act as secondary metabolites. They'll go in and they'll assist the immune system, or they will directly help the body recognize that there are abnormal growths in the body and therefore help the body destroy them or destroy them directly themselves or cause these types of cells to self-destruct. So that's what's great about a lot of these botanicals. And as far as the banana, it's the happy fruit because it contains tryptophan and your body converts it to serotonin. And that's a hormone that helps you relax, improve your mood, and make you just feel happier. So a lot of these botanicals, of course, because they're organically grown, they're going to be high in the vitamins and minerals. So that's a given. Let's see, it has a lot of potassium in it. It has an affinity for potassium. And potassium is a very important mineral to prevent muscle spasms, muscle cramping, and help you balance your blood pressure. And also it contains nutrient factors that help you have healthier blood. So it helps in building new red blood cells and maintain the hemoglobin, which is the iron-containing, oxygen-carrying part of the blood. And it's a protein in the blood. Let's see, it's been used for both constipation and diarrhea. So it's a regulator. It helps your gut, your environment inside your stomach and your intestines to go back to normal. So it'll go either way for you. And there are a lot of factors that would help reduce the pain of arthritis and help your body heal from the arthritis. When I had my practice, arthritis was actually one of the easiest ailment to fix nutritionally. So as Linus Pauling said, I don't know if you know who he is, but he was a 2-time Nobel Peace Prize winner. And he always went around saying that 99.9% of all health ailments are because of nutrient deficiencies. And in the 40 years I was in practice, yes, I have to attest that is true. That's what I have witnessed. Let's see, banana also helps metabolize fats. It helps you regulate blood sugar and cholesterol. And so it plays a role in that energy factor that I talked about earlier. So it improves the brain functioning, protects your nerve cells. And let's see, I think I should start speeding it up a little bit.
Well, there's a wide range of application here. I mean, when I look at RLX, I think of relax and something to help me to sleep and to calm. But you're explaining all of these different beautiful ingredients that come together. And it's really apparent to me listening to you how whoever put this recipe together, in fact, all of our recipes, really understood what they were doing. They really understood the science. They really understood how to combine different botanicals to give this synergistic effect.
And that's one of the things I applaud about the company, because a lot of supplement companies out there, they do not do their scientific homework. They just jump on the bandwagon. They just do what everyone else is doing. They just compete that way with each other. But this has a lot of thought was put into the synergistic effect of all of these botanicals in our drops.
That's amazing. And one thing I want to add too, for our guests on this call tonight who haven't had a chance to try these products, they're delicious. I mean, I drove by my mailbox 3 weeks ago knowing I had a box in there somewhere. I knew that was coming. And I hit the brakes, went to my mailbox and got out of the car. I normally don't do that for my mailbox. I just get there when I get there. But knowing these delicious drops were there, it's just been an amazing journey to try these products and to really make them part of my lifestyle. 15 different drops, 15 different experiences, and they're all so very unique. So yeah, I love where you're going with RLX. Yeah, please go on.
Okay, all right, I will. And this is the short formulation. Yeah, I mean, a banana is one of the fruits that has pectin, which is a soluble fiber, meaning your body can break it down and utilize it. And it's been the pectin has been so important for heart health and maintaining the strength and pliability and flexibility of your blood vessels. If they become rigid or if they become clogged, then they will break down and they will form clots. And if those clots are loosened and they circulate in the bloodstream, they could cause strokes and heart attacks. I mean, this is a very dangerous thing. So pectin is one of the good things that you can put into your diet, and banana has it. So let's see, insulin production. So your blood sugar is regulated properly. So it helps the pancreas produce insulin when it's needed. And it has been known to help the gastroesophageal reflux disease, or GERD. It has various amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks or the basic components of every protein. So the more amino acids you have in your diet, the more likely your body is able to build up new tissues and maintain its immune system and that kind of thing. Antimicrobial, a lot of studies show that it's effective against bacteria, fungi like Candida, and it found to help inhibit the formation of diet-induced atherosclerotic plaques. I was talking about that earlier. You want to maintain the flexibility and you want to maintain clear blood vessels. So it'll help your body maintain the proper amounts of the HDL and LDL cholesterol. And it addresses the thyroid, again, another gland in the glandular system. And it helps the prevent formation of gallstones. Gallstones are formed by eating the wrong types of fats or too many fats in the diet without a lot of fresh foods in the diet to help break down those fats. And it's got some anti-allergenic activities. So people who have allergies, they can reach for a banana and they might find some relief there. Or take a drop. There's a lot more nutrient factors in the drops. So then German chamomile, I didn't finish highlighting this, but it will address the needs of the liver, the urinary bladder, and the kidney, and it'll help the digestive system. It's useful for hypertension, high blood pressure, and insomnia. It's a very mild sedative. A lot of indigenous use all over the world. It's been used for colicky infants and just for relaxing, just for relaxing. So it has a very, very mild sedative effect. The great thing about plants is that they have a lot of counter nutrient factors in them, so that it's not just a drug. Okay, it's not going to sedate you. You're just going to feel more relaxed. Nerve relaxing actions and just general use for general anxiety. So it's a well-known plant throughout the world that's been used for many centuries. So it also improves your immune system, helps your body fight infections, viruses that cause colds. It's a great pain reliever. It improves your cardiovascular health. Anti-cancer properties, most of the botanicals in our formulations, that's what I came up with a lot when I was researching. Lots of anti-cancer properties. It stops tumors from growing their own blood vessels. And a lot of people don't know this about cancer cells or tumors. They start growing their own circulatory system so they can replicate themselves. And that's what's so dangerous. But a lot of these botanicals will stop that process.
So that's how cancer grows, through creating its own.
That, and also the immune system, that if you're not well nourished, if you're not providing with the right molecules, the nutrient factors, then the immune system also becomes less effective and less able to recognize cancer cells. So keeping your body well nourished is one of the most important things you could ever do in your life, is just so that the ability for cancer to not grow in your body. So it'll stop that and prevent it from ever happening.
That's amazing. We've got 15 more minutes on tonight's presentation, and this has just been mind-blowing in my opinion, just about this one product, RLX. I was hoping, could we shift on to one more for this evening? And I've been getting a lot of requests for Power Women, that particular product. I've seen some really early testimonials come out, some absolutely amazing testimonials. And I know there are a lot of people interested in that product. Would you mind maybe taking a kind of a semi-deep dive into that as well?
Absolutely. I'll just display it here. There's the Power Apricot or the HERS formula. And I'm going to go into my computer and pull that out. Okay, so the apricot is a phenomenal botanical. Like I said, they all have the vitamin and mineral complexes in it, but it's known to help the blood coagulate and regulate calcium in the blood and the bones. So when women who are on their menses, they experience a lot of pain because their uteruses are contracting and getting rid of the excess blood. So you're able to get rid of it. But sometimes it starts cramping up because there are muscles there that, all muscles cramp up if you're calcium deficient. So the apricot is rich in calcium, and so it will help relax those muscles and help it flow through. So if you have any teenagers out there that are doubled over every month, you can give them the Power Woman, and it'll help them tremendously. And that's just the apricot. So it has all these other minerals in it, and also it helps the thyroid gland to make sure it's functioning properly. And the thyroid gland has an affinity for the mineral iodine. So don't ever take one isolated nutrient like that can become very toxic. And so you want to make sure that you're in a whole food complex type of supplement like these wonderful drops are. It also has iron, so it prevents anemia. And we talked about the hemoglobin, carotenoids, protecting the eyesight. So all of these different glands that are listed here, it has the nutrient factors in it to help your body maintain all of these different glands so that your body can secrete the right amounts of hormones at the right times. A lot of times when people eat fried foods and they're heating their oils and they're exposing their oils to the air too much, they become like free radicals, So it's important to eat the right fats and keep them refrigerated so that the molecules in those fats can be recognized by the cells in these glands systems. So it's great for the skin, helps reduce infections. Look at all these wonderful discoveries that have been made scientifically and proven. A lot of the references that are in the book, a lot of the references are peer-reviewed studies, which means a panel of researchers who have been in the industry, PhDs, scholars. They review all of the studies that have ever been done on these different botanicals. And so when they're evaluating a particular botanical and all the science that has been researched about it, they will pick out the best, most credible studies that were done on any particular botanical. And so that's what makes it so credible. So in the book, you'll see that a lot of it has a lot of these peer-reviewed studies, not just one isolated study here and there. So that's not really that credible until you have those studies repeated. Okay, so sorry about that aside, but I thought it was important.
No, that's great. I'm glad that you're sharing that with us.
Okay, it's also been shown to have anti-tumor effects against pancreatic, colon, and liver cancer cells in laboratory studies. And these are human studies. I stayed away from animal studies. There might have been one or two because there weren't any human studies yet on it. There's a lot to be said about thousands of years of indigenous use, though. People have been meticulously recording and documenting all of these attributes that these botanicals have as well. But science has been right behind it and researching and confirming all of the indigenous thousands of years of use of these wonderful botanicals. So peptic ulcers, precancerous lesions in the intestine. So it's got a lot of healing value for your tissues.
So let
All
me
right.
ask this question because we could ask this quite a bit. The frequency of taking these products, I know for some products, I'll take more than one drop. For instance, with STP, I might take 2 or 3 drops. I like to combo drop RLX and ice together for my digestion. What are your thoughts on that sort of activity? What would you advise?
Oh, it's wonderful. Your body is extremely smart. It's always searching for such molecules, right? And I'm trying to get back to see you. I don't see you right now, but okay, I thought maybe I couldn't see you, but you could see me or something.
Yeah, we can see you. You still have you're still the host, so we can still see you, and we see your chart here.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go back to that that one there. So yes, sorry, can you repeat the question? Because
Sure, yeah, I was talking about the idea of how often should we take drops, taking them together, does it work? For me, it seems to be working. And honestly, a lot of people, they don't want to take one drop. They want to take 10 a day, and they do. And sometimes the question is, are we taking too many? Should we not be mixing them? These are the frequent questions, some of them that we get.
Okay, yeah, great. Thank you for putting me back on track. Yes, okay, so our cells, we have trillions of them, and they all need maintenance. They all need the optimal nutrition so that they can function properly all of our lives. And it's not like they're fat soluble where they'll accumulate in the liver or anything. These are water soluble, and they what your body doesn't need, it'll throw off. But hey, it's really smart, and it's not going to allow itself to throw off such valuable molecules. So it recognizes every single bit of those nutrient factors, and it will put them to use one way or another. So, we are bombarded with so many toxic things every single day. It's in our water, it's in our air, it's in the food we eat. Even if we try to eat organically, there's pesticide drift in the crops. There's a lot of things that affect us, plus stress. These days it's pretty stressful. And so there are a lot of things that, and plus your body will store synthetic chemicals. If you're not using non-toxic body care products, then those synthetics will get embedded in your fatty tissues because the molecules are so similar. So yeah, it's important to have as many antioxidants that your body can absorb properly. If you were to try to eat that many antioxidants, you would just be so stuffed and so full of food, and it would just be it would be obesity and digestive problems. So these are very concentrated, but not concentrated. They are very, well, in a way they're concentrated because the DNA has all of the information that our cells look for and readily recognize. So it'll definitely allow it through the cell membranes of our cells and utilize all of that information that are in those drops. So from all of these botanicals, you can see how your body will utilize in so many different body systems, all of these botanical nutrient factors.
I like what you just said. I think all of us have tried to eat healthy at one point or another. We go to the store, and when we fill up our carts with healthy things, they take up the whole cart. And it's a lot of time prepping food, cook it carefully, prepare it correctly. And most people can't do that after the second week. You kind of get burned out. And here you have these Anion DNA drops. They're incredibly potent. You can consume a high amount of them. And what I just heard you say is because they're so nutrient rich and because there's so many trillions of cells in your body, they're going to find a place for these nutrients so they don't go to waste. So you really can't overconsume them. Have you seen a toxicity study on these types of drops, or are you aware of anything that's interesting in regards to that?
You mean independent studies on the products themselves?
Or just the general toxicity with taking these products? Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah, there was some talk about a year ago that was in the making, but I don't know if anything else has progressed in that area. It would be great. Some products do make it as far as being tested for the product itself, and so that would be great if we could have the drops tested like that independently.
I'm sure that we'll move on to that at some point. Our guest tonight, Mary Esther Gilbert, extraordinaire researcher, scientist, and just a great all-around person. I want to thank you for taking some time with us this evening and invite you back as soon as we possibly can. Next week is Thanksgiving. I was looking at the calendar, but we'd love to have you back and maybe even do like 2 drops a week. I'm going to be asking a lot of people on the team for what they would like to cover next. And if you'd be so gracious, we'd love to have you back. You are the author of the APL Product Reference Nutritional Health Guide. I think you can find them. Is it on Amazon or it's Barnes & Noble?
It's not on Barnes & Noble at the moment. It was. I moved it over to Amazon, and you can also go to my website, holisticchoices.com. There's a link on the left side that says APL Product Reference Guide. It'll take you directly to the page. It'll give you some information about it. I don't know, maybe I can just show you real quick. I think I have it. I think I had it up. Yeah, here it is. Holisticchoices.com. Just click on the left side, Product Reference Nutritional Health Guide. It'll take you to the page, and you can order the print book. It now has a different cover. It's exactly the same on the inside. When I moved it from Barnes & Noble to Amazon, some of the graphics didn't change over very well, so I had to change the cover. So this is what it looks like now, but the ebook looks the same. It still looks like the other cover does.
Okay, I'm still seeing the same chart, but that's great information to have. And I'm going to say this: if you're sucking these beauties and you start feeling guilty, you're having too much fun, you think they can't be healthy, just open those pages, let your eyes do the feasting. You're going to see all the science, all the research, everything done by Mary Esther Gilbert. Mary Esther, thank you so much for being our guest tonight. We look forward to having you. Hopefully in a week or two, we'll be in contact with you. And I'm again going to ask our participants what drops they want to be previewed next. We can go over them in detail like you did tonight. So that being said, I want to thank you again for joining us this evening. Any parting words?
It's been my absolute pleasure. I'm always happy to share this knowledge with people. So I'd be happy to come back and go over the products with everyone. But yeah, do not be afraid of the drops. They are perfect for your body. So anytime you have a question, you can bring it up, I can do Q&As as well. So a lot of times I just can't think of everything to impart this knowledge to everyone. So if someone asks me a question, then I can go ahead and relate even more knowledge that's not even in the book. So, just thank you for having me. It was great to meet you all, and I hope to see you all again.
All right, thanks so much. Well, since you're the host, I'm going to let you close it out or give it back to me, and we'll push that end button. We'll see you again in a week or two. We'll list this on Go Life or Go USA Facebook page of our next Zoom with you. Again, thank you so much for your time this evening. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you on the other side. Good night.
Good night. Kauri, I don't know exactly. Oh, okay, I do know. I see the little red button there. I didn't see it at first. I had to minimize all of my stuff here. So
you're good.
All right, here we
better
go.
and better, but this was awesome. Thank you.
All right, good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Happy
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good night, everyone.